Hello and welcome back to Venture Vibes. To stay updated with our latest videos and join our vibrant community, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. If you find our content insightful and empowering, don't forget to give us a thumbs up by liking the video. We value your feedback immensely, so feel free to share your thoughts and suggestions in the comment below to further improve ourselves with respect to the video quality and the content that we bring for you. Now, moving ahead, we'll talk about today's video that is on characteristics and features of planning, the second video after introduction and definition of planning. So let's quickly talk about the characteristics. So the first characteristics is continuous activity. So planning is a continuous activity. It is more of recurring in nature and it is requiring and constant refinement with changing goals and objective of the organization. So whenever there is a change happening with respect to the targets or the goals or the objective that the organization is looking to achieve in the future course of time, at that point of time, the company need to come up with a different types of plan, and that is why once formulated plans get achieved, the another plans need to be derived, and that is the continuous activity in the form of planning. Talking about the second feature, that is your dynamic function. Now dynamic function, it talks about planning response to the changing and uncertainties in the environment. As we know that the plans are formulated based on certain premises, and this premises can be based on internal and external factors. So now internal factors may be under the control of the firm, but the external factors may not be under the control of the firm. And that is why, as the external factor changes, the firm may need to get with the changes in terms of its plan, and that is what it is, the dynamic in nature. The third feature of planning is all pervasive in nature. Now, planning affects all levels and functions of an organization. Now, all pervasive means it is required at every level of organizational hierarchy. So, whether it is a top management, whether it is a middle management, or whether it is a bottom management, all will need to get with these certain types of plan. Maybe the nature of the plan will be different. Say for example, for top management it can be more of long term planning and more of strategic planning, whereas for the middle management it can be medium term planning or it can be more of tactical planning, and for the bottom management it can be more of routine operational planning or it can be more of short term planning. So that is what the planning is, all pervasive in nature. It is required at all the levels and functions of organization. Next characteristics about planning is it is future oriented. So planning focuses on achieving goals and objectives in the future, and as we talk about the goals or as we talk about the mission and the vision of the organization, it is always based on future criteria, and that is why we considered forecasting as one of the important characteristics with respect to planning, where the organization try to foresee its future in the present, and through that they may design their strategies. So that is, planning is a future oriented exercise. The next characteristics of planning is choice based decision making. Now, when we are discussing about choice based decision making, the objective over here is when a plan is being formulated, the organization have to decide what course of action they want to pursue for. And when they decide the course of action to be conducted or should be focused on, there are always and different alternatives available, and out of this alternatives available to the organization, the company need to finalize one course of alternative over the other course of alternative. And when you have a alternatives available, you need to get with a choice, and that is what we are referring as a choice based decision making. Another characteristics of planning is goal driven activity. Now, goal driven activity planning is centered around achieving specific objective. So we have a long term targets. That long term targets can be the goal or the mission for the existence of the organization, and this goals can further be divided into the specific objectives that can contribute in the achievement of the goals. So whenever the company decide its plan, that is mostly with respect to the goals and the mission and the vision. So that is why planning is also referred as a goal driven activity. Moving ahead with the another characteristics, that is intellectual exercise. So planning is an intellectual exercise where it involves too much of analysis, critical thinking and assessment. Now when an organization need to get with a plan, then they need to decide about its future in terms of not only deciding what to achieve, but they need to get with the resources allocation. And now, when the commitment is required in terms of resource allocation, and if that is not getting worked out as per the requirement of the company, it may be a loss for an organization. And that is where the company need to get with too much of calculations and analysis and understanding of the decision based on data. And that is why it is more of intellectual exercise. Next feature is interventionist. Now, planning is more of interventionist, that is, planning is more of proactive exercise, and where it is aiming to influence the course of event rather than just merely reacting to them. So here the organization is looking in terms of when they decide its course of action for the future, the organization have an objective that they want to control their destiny on their own, and they don't want to get relied on the future outcomes that can prevail from the market. So that is why planning is more of preparing yourself in advance before the happening of the things, and that is it is more proactive, and that is what we are referring as an interventionist. The next characteristics of planning is it is more complex and challenging. Now, planning involves dealing with intricate factors and challenges. Now, this intricate factors and challenges are nothing but your internal and external environmental factors. And there, the factors may have an ripple effect at times, and it may be like one factor may lead to much of the consequences with respect to the organization's performance, and that's where the organization may not even have a control about it, or maybe the organization will have never thought about it, and that is why it is more complex and that required readjustment on a timely basis. So it is always and challenging for an organization to adjust its plan with respect to the environmental elements. The last characteristics of planning is it is a process. Now it is a process because it is having a series of interconnected steps, from goal definition to policy formulation to resource mobilization and goal fulfillment and review. So, like when we need to get with a plan, we need to first have the identification of the objective and the goal that the organization want to pursue. Then we need to finalize on the policy that will be the guidelines through which the organization will be able to achieve the goal that they are looking for. And then resource mobilization, that is the better utilization of available resources to the organization. And finally, we need to cross verify to what extent the goal were being able to achieve and what it requires in terms of review and control. Thank you for embarking on this journey of knowledge with us at Venture Vibes. Together, we are redefining management theories to unlock your true potential. And if you found our insights valuable, remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Let's elevate our understanding of business together and hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more enlightening content. Thank you.